everyone. Welcome to my presentation. I'm going to be talking about topical maps and semantic SEO. I will try to make it as easy and as practical as possible, avoiding complex words. So who is this guy? This is Mihai. I was a competitor gamer, then I stumbled into SEO. At age 17, I made $10,000 with affiliate websites in just 1 month. So like any normal teenager, I was like, fuck school. And I just did SEO from there on. During the years, I realized traditional SEO methods were not longer working, a lot of confusion and diminishing results. So with a bit of luck, I found Corey, I found his framework and moved to Turkey to learn from him from practical examples. And now my mission is to try to simplify Corey's framework to make it as easily and practical as possible to understand without needing a college degree. We have here a case study using semantic SEO tactics. Website increased, the traffic value increased 2,000% during just a few months in 2025. Using semantic strategies and of course a bit of link building. And I'll try to explain topical maps and semantic SEO because it can feel scary. It's very technical language. You need to understand NLP. And it's hard for SEO marketing people to try to grasp it. However, when done right, this miraculous approach outperforms other SEO strategies with just plain text and not other more costly methods. And in this presentation, I aim to provide a simple, actionable framework to help your team build topical maps without, like I said, a college degree. I will try to answer 3 questions and concepts. How to create a topical map, how to create a document brief for a topical map, and how to write an article using a topical brief for a topical map. So what is a topical map? It is, in simple terms, a structured content plan for a website. It forms a network of interconnected pages that demonstrate knowledge of a central topic, which helps search engines, including LLMs, see your site as an authoritative knowledge base. This fills information gaps and not just keyword gaps like they were done previously. It consists of a central entity, its attributes, and a network of internal links. So our journey will include 7 steps. Identify the source context, which is the purpose of the brand or your website. Identify the central entity, which normally is the industry you operate in. We filter the articles or the content research process. We format the article URLs. We write the meta descriptions. We design the feature image. And we do the article core or outer section assignment for the articles. First step, identifying the source context. The source context is what your website does to make money. We find it by analyzing the best performing landings and product pages. It's the primary focus of the website, linking your brand's revenue model to its main topic or central entity. So, for example, for a local plumber, the source context is Plumber Manchester. For a SaaS company like Search Atlas, the source context is SEO tools. For a furniture store, an e-commerce, the context is furniture for sale. Step number 2, we identify the central entity. The central entity should be present in all articles of the site. The source context or website focus of your company is an attribute of the central entity. A practical example. For a SaaS company like Surfer SEO, the source context is SEO tool and the central entity is SEO. SEO tools is an attribute of the central entity SEO. Step number 3. We filter the articles with the entity attribute value model. This is a data model that organizes information into three components: the entities, the attributes, and the values. For example, e-commerce SEO can become the title, what is e-commerce SEO? Importance, strategy, and best practices. And it helps us to crawl competitor pages. We extract the entity attribute values from the competitor pages, we ensure the SERP alignment with those values, and we create title based on those values and the query networks that we can get from Search Console or SaaS tools. A title can also be a question that answers the entity attribute value. And very advanced and smart SEO use tools like advert tools instead of crawling manually, a tool made by Elias Dabas, which is here with us today. And now we go to formatting the article URLs. This is pretty straightforward. I give good example, bad example here. Mainly, we don't want to do duplicates. We don't want to repeat. The main point is to have main topic, subtopic, then article. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate this, especially in the beginning. You will have the tendency to get stuck here a lot, to think about complex structure, and instead of doing the topical map. Go fast and don't worry about it later. Meta description. Meta description summarize the entire article for search engines and reflect the topic. Use meta descriptions to improve the context and topic by diversifying the vocabulary used in the title tag and URL. For practical reasons, you can actually skip writing meta description to optimize production time and project budget. Do meta descriptions influence rankings? No, they won't influence the rankings. That's why you can skip them, especially for very large, complex articles, which can't be summarized correctly in a few words. But they help give a bit of context. So if you have the budget, go for it, but don't waste time on this. Step 6, design the featured image. Now the featured image should include a concise title and brand logo. The alt text must describe the main subjects in the image. You should ideally use unique licensed images to demonstrate the human effort as preferred by Google's quality rated guidelines. There's an entire SOP for it, but it's way more practical to just show you a picture. You need some text at the bottom. It needs to be clearly written so you can actually read the words. You need the logo on the top left. It needs to have a bit of color and contrast, but at the same time have a bit of transparency for uniqueness. The brand logo needs to be easily visible and to reflect the website. Keep it simple and focus on production and focus that it doesn't look like AI-generated images. Now the core and outer section assignment. Categorize and order the articles by whether they belong to the core or outer sections. You start with the core section and then go to the outer section when writing the articles. The core section, or the bottom of the funnel, it connects your source context, so your business purpose, with the central search intent, the user's main goal. It focuses on the most important attributes of your central entity and addresses the primary user needs. Now the outer section, or the top of the funnel, covers minor related attributes that complement the core section. It boosts the authority and context of the core section pages by linking related but less critical topics. Now, it's way more easier to say it in practice than in theory. So for a SaaS company like Ahrefs, topics such as what is SEO or keyword research are part or more closely related to the outer section content, while SEMrush review or best SEO software are closer to the core section. In general, the core section content will usually have less traffic than the outer section. A bit of a recap so we all remember what we just learned. We identify first the source context, which is the purpose of your brand website. We identify the central entity, the industry it operates in. We filter the articles and do the content research. We format the article URLs, we write the meta descriptions, design the featured image, and do the assignment between article core and outer section. Now, this is the topical map. Now, we will work on the document brief, which will later be handled to the writers. The document brief has only 4 sections. The heading, or otherwise known as the contextual vector, the heading level, or the contextual hierarchy, anchor text or the contextual connections, article methodology or the contextual structure. So what are the headings? We extract the headings from competitors from the Google search. We analyze the query methods with tools like Search Console, Ahrefs, SEMrush, etc. We filter headings using entity attribute value methodology, and we reformulate these into concise, clear questions. Practical examples. What is technical SEO? What is Ahrefs? Those are definitional questions. Majority of the articles will have them. Also, we need to make grouper questions which group related terms together. Examples are, what are the types of SEO? What are the benefits of SEO? These are very important questions. 90% of the articles will include both of those in the main sections of the articles. Now, heading levels, this is straightforward. For contextual hierarchy are HTML headers from 1 to 6. They mark a hierarchy of importance of all sections of the document. Headings level determine the weight and importance of internal links. Heading levels must flow naturally, so don't jump for 2 to 4. And in practice, you will use H5, H6 for internal linking purposes. Now the anchor text. Use the last sections under the headings at the bottom of the article to create the internal links. The corresponding heading for the text sections of anchor text must contain the anchor text string. The anchor text used on source page must exist in the target page. Never use the exact same anchor text more than 3 times. Never use the first word in a sentence as anchor text. And for practical reasons, use queries from Search Console data or other tools for the initial anchor text ideas, and you can use your mind or use AI to augment them further. Now the article methodology, a very important part. Its goal is to create content segments that will get the chance to win featured snippets, which this translates to LLMs and anything higher than that, LLMs, etc. It will work exactly the same. The primary formats to win featured snippets are paragraph, bullet point lists, number lists, and tables. You should structure this content to align with natural language processes. The key components that should be used in all of them are entities, attributes, and predicates that you take from the SERP consensus. Other people call it groundness. Just look at the SERPs. It's irrelevant what you think. It's important what Google thinks it's important, and you should repeat those and add a bit more. This has the aim to produce detailed, well-organized, and expert content that reduces the cost of retrieval. Now, the writers are trained on a detailed 30-plus instruction set and rules on how to use the words in an NLP and LLM-friendly way. Now, let's recap the document brief. We do the headings, we do the heading level, we do the anchor text, and the article methodology. Those are the only 4 steps. We do this for each and every document brief in existence in a topical map. Now, we learn about document briefs. We'll try to learn how we talk to the writers about them in the author guidelines. Now, the author guidelines main concepts are to write for machines, including LLMs. The main ideas, like documents are more complex, there are a lot, we have over 30 rules, but the main idea is use active voice, do not replace subject with pronouns, use reflective question-answer formatting, use clear, obvious, direct sentences, use hypothetical questions, hide. If you want, there's papers, research papers about this in RAG, but writers do not need to understand and know them. They just need to implement as fast as possible. They do not need to read theory. Fewer words are not always clearer. You should use prepositions to make it easier for the search engine. Don't use personifications. I hear a lot of time, plays an important role in. This has no sense. Plays an important role, has no connection with anything. It's very vague. And there's a lot of issues like this. I don't want personifications. You need clear language, technical language. And as a general idea for the author mindset, are you confident if we take your sentence, one sentence, just it, we can't look back or forward, and translate it to 100 languages, are you confident that its meaning will stay the same? If it's not going to stay the same, that sentence can be improved. A bit about the quality spectrum. There are two types of ways of writing. We use quality notes, authority building, in-depth pages, extensive with unique data, expert opinions, and external citations. Their goal is to outperform competitors by providing more depth in them. For example, in practice, technical SEO or on-page SEO are such type of pages that require quality notes. Non-quality notes are more concise, supportive pages. They address specific questions or topics. They fill information gaps and linked to quality notes. For example, is SEO dead? Is SEO worth it? Can be a non-quality node. You need both. To cover topics comprehensively and faster, you need to distribute them. Avoid making every page a massive document. Ensure thorough coverage of all topic aspects. Now, you don't need to paint the Mona Lisa, you just need to be better than the crowd. That means everyone else. Speed is better than perfection. Don't waste 10 days on a perfect brief. Write an entire topical map in that time. You can improve it later. Always go with speed. I see a lot of time, especially beginners, they try to make the perfect topical map. Just make more and you learn in time. Don't focus on perfection of one article. So what have we learned today? We learned how to create a topical map from scratch. Now we know to create document briefs for the topical map using the query networks, and this is a long one. How to write articles based on a document brief for our topical map, optimized for winning feature snippets and LLM answers. Okay, so thank you for listening. If you want to see some photos of me in Thailand, you can click on this thingy over here.